Here I am present to tell you about absorption of water by roots. So here you can see in this diagram, from this diagram only it will be clear. So this is the soil particle containing the water molecules. So here it is root, here it is embedded inside the soil, here it is epidermis, then cortex, endodermis, pericycle, and then comes the xylem. So this one is the passage cells, and here it is phloem. So from the water will enter inside the epidermis through the root hair by osmosis process. Now the same process will continue throughout the cortex, and then it will go inside the endodermis through the passage cell. Now from the endodermis it will be absorbed by pericycle, then it will give to the xylem. So here you can see it is written that cell wall is permeable but plasma membrane is semi-permeable membrane. So by endosmosis water will insert in the root hair cell. So when it is entering inside the root hair cell, this dilutes the epidermal cell solution, and cortical cells are in contact with epidermal cell. So here see here cortical cells, they are in contact with the epidermal. Here it is in contact with these two cells. Okay, so by osmosis water enters in the cortical cells. So the water entered reduces the osmotic pressure and increases the turgor pressure. Now by osmosis again water goes in the adjoining cortical cells and reaches endodermal cells. Here you can see reaches endodermal cells and then the pericycle cells. From this pericycle it will enter into the xylem, and then it is carried away by the xylem tissue to the top of the plant. So here you see structure of root hair. It is root hair zone. Now here it is zone of maturation. It is root cap, which is protecting the parts of the root. Then it is zone of elongation, it will be elongated, and it is zone of division. So from here if you will see this part, it is just like this. Epidermal cell will be there, it is the root hair. Here you can see. Now see here diagrammatic section, how the passage of water molecules take place. So root hair it is present, which is protecting the cap. Root cap protects the growing plant, it pushes through the soil. Region of cell division is there, cell elongation is there, region, cortex, xylem vessels are present. So root hairs are there, and here it is surrounding cells water. Here it is going through the endosmosis, it is going inside this cells cortical region, water is there, and then it is carried away by the help of xylem to the stem. Okay, now as I have told you, active and passive absorption. So in case of passive absorption no energy requirement is there, but in active absorption there will be requirement of ATP molecules. By expanding the ATP molecules, this type of absorption will take place. Now come to the ascent of sap. So here you can see the sap is a dilute solution of minerals or ions or mineral ions absorbed from the soil. Okay, the process of translocation of sap from the roots to the top of the plant, this is ascent of sap. Now come to the conduction of water. Through the tracheids and vessels, water is conducted. In young herbaceous plants, almost all the tracheiry elements participate in this process, but in case of large wood, the tracheiry elements of only sapwood are functional. The following, so another experiment is there, I will tell you. Now see this first. Beside the root, some plants also absorb water through the leaves. The leaves of redwood, Sequoia sempervirens, the tallest tree, absorb the water from the fog in which they are frequently bathed along with California coast. Certain epiphytes or orchids absorb moisture from atmosphere by aerial roots. Now come to this experiment. Water is conducted through tracheiry element. You have to take a dilute solution of eosin. It is a red dye stained with lignin tissues like the xylem. It is taken in test tube with a balsam twig. It is placed. After some time the veins appear as red and some part becomes pink. Section of the stem or a petiole shows that only a xylem element they have taken. The see here, the section of the stem or petiole that is showing only a section has taken the Yersinia, taken the stem containing the solution, moves through the xylem. It is thus established that water is conducted through tracheary element of xylem, trachea and vessel. These are dead lignified secondary wall cells having the secondary lignified wall. The lumen of these allows it easy upward flow of water. Next is your girdling or ringing. It was first introduced by Malpighi. So here it is. You have to remove a ring of Park, that is all the tissues outside the vascular cambium, including vital vascular tissue of phloem. Girdling experiment is there. 2 small ticks are taken. A girdle or ring is removed from one of these branches by a knife. Second twig, the xylem is removed by manipulation without causing much injury to Park. So here all the xylem is blocked with wax. Thus the girdled part, first twig contains one xylem, that of the second twig all tissues except xylem is present. Both the twigs are placed in separate beaker containing water. After some time leaves on first twig will appear turgid, second one will have, on the second twig no xylem will droop. The leaves appear turgid in first case because this continue to receive water in the presence of xylem. In the second twig leaves wilt because there is no conduction of water due to absence of blocked xylem element. Okay, here you can see this one is turgid, here it is drooped. Okay, now see the mechanism of ascent of sap. First is root pressure. This shows theory. It is believed that root pressure depends on xylem, pushes the present in the xylem vessels, that is responsible for pushing the water to leaves in the herbs and branches also. This is not applicable in tall plants. See here, root pressure is absent in gymnosperm, one of the tallest trees. Gymnosperm. Maximum root pressure recorded is 2 to 3 bars, which is sufficient for 21 meters height only. Next is capillary theory. Capillarity theory. According to this capillary theory, xylem and xylem vessel trachea occur in the form of thin capillary. Thus the xylem capillary apply physical force that help in the ascent of sap. This may be applicable to small extent in plant. Ascent of sap in tall plants is not possible by this force. Now next is transpirational pull. This was developed by Dixon and Joly, also called cohesion tension theory, most accepted one, because according to this theory main forces behind the ascent of sap, cohesion and tension. First is continuous column. Continuous column of water exists from root to leaves through xylem. This column exists in tracheary elements. So even if in tracheary elements, even if a few elements gets blocked, the other maintain the continuity of the column. Next one is cohesion. Water molecules string by the cohesive force. The mutual attraction is due to the presence of hydrogen bonds. Okay. Next is adhesion. Water molecules also stick to the walls of xylem vessels due to attraction, which is called adhesive force. Cohesion and adhesion ensure the water column is not broken. Now see the development of transpirational pool. Mesophyll tissue which is present in the leaves, and they have intracellular spaces. They are saturated with water vapor. When these species come in contact with outside air through the stomatal opening, it gets saturated with the water vapor. The vapor from intracellular spaces diffuse out by transpiration. Mesophyll cells absorb the moisture from deeper cells to overcome the loss of moisture, which is creating a tension or the pull in the water column through the stem. Since it is continuous, it is pulled through like a rope due to tension. Thus when transpiration from the leaves takes place, it pulls the water column upward and water is able to rise. This is called transpirational pull. Here you can see this one is your absorption from the water from soil, then it comes in root here. Due to the endosmosis, it is coming to the root cortex. Pericycle